video descriptions, and obviously the activities, the assessments, the discussions, and so on and so forth. I'm not worried about trying to be able to show them every single thing, obviously. Like, we're not diving into rubrics or any of the nitty gritty, but enough to say, hey, if a student went into the course and they went into page by page inside of a learning management system, this is what they will actually see. The goal of this conversation and of like this show and tell project is that you want the SME to be able to give you that sign off. You're trying to get their buy-in. I'm assuming that you need this buy-in, by the way, for your project. I know that I do. I need the approvals in order to be able to move forward with things. So either way, make sure that you're getting this information and making sure that you're really getting this type of sign-off at this point in time if you do need this. These are almost my exact steps. Actually, it is my exact steps. I'm not sure why I said almost. These are my exact steps that I did when I met with the SME for the second time. I showed her every step of what the learning journey is going to look like. And funny enough, I actually surprised her. I came up with one assignment, and keep in mind, I am not the subject matter expert. I'm not the technical expert. Obviously, we can learn pretty much anything as instructional designers. That's kind of our superpower here. And I put together an idea for an assignment, and I pitched my idea to her inside of this meeting. And she was like, wow, that's actually good. I'm like, oh, well, good. I'm glad you think that what I do can actually be good. Like, positive. I'll take the slight win for instructional design right there. But anyway, being able to then get her positivity around some assignments, she then asked, can I do that more for the rest of a course? And finally, that was like some real feedback to say, okay, I'm on track. And then I just ran with that. And she mentioned if I design the rest of a course in this manner, then she approves and it says it's going to be great. I was like, okay, good enough for me. I will take this and I will just go from here. At this point in time in the project, I knew that that was it. I had my 2 calls, I had my 2 meetings, and I got the approval, which is what I was hoping for. So now this meant it was time to pivot, and this is when I hired 2 outside subject matter experts. Think of like junior subject matter experts to be able to help me out. Once again, I did not have enough information and knowledge on the topics that I was designing to really understand all the ins and outs. I knew enough to be dangerous, but not enough to really create everything from start to finish. So I had to bring in help. And luckily for me, they understood the predicament. They understood the assignment, and they were like, oh, okay, yeah, we can do this with you, and let's start to be able to think about this, piece by piece. And of course, a part of this process was that we did have to revise things, go back, tighten things up, rule some things out and start over from different types of assignments. And that's kind of the nature of the beast, where we're going back through with everything from the learning objectives, the readings, the assignments, and essentially everything else in between. It was all on the table to be able to be improved upon. And that's just how it was. And of course, I was a bit stunned, I'm not going to lie, to see that we actually pulled it off in the right time frame. And indeed, the course did go live, and we actually, once again, surprisingly, received a lot of positive feedback on the course, which was amazing to be able to hear. But of course, we did also get feedback around how we could improve the course, and that made a lot of sense from hearing more from their comments and things of like, oh yeah, I would have never thought of that. And of course, if I had more time, then maybe this could have gone in a different direction. But I did not have time, and I did the best that I could with my circumstances and the situation. And if you find yourself in this similar type of a situation, that's really the mentality to have, to say that I did the very best that I possibly could with everything else that I was going up against. But you know what? I finished. It was done. And sometimes that's just it is what it is. So the next time, friends, you face this situation and you are finding yourself in something very similar where this thing needs to be done by yesterday, just know that this does happen. It happens to the best of us. It doesn't matter where you work or how many years you've been working as an instructional designer, what you've accomplished, or anything of a sort. This can happen because projects are different and people are people and they are not perfect. And because of that, that means your project is never going to go perfectly well and all good. And anyone who tells you that their project always goes amazingly perfect, I'm not sure if I would believe them, because I've had some fantastic courses and learning experiences I've designed where I had everything, the perfect subject matter experts, a long runway to be able to test things out, to really have full amount of time to develop everything of a sort, a healthy budget and everything like that. And those courses, obviously, they're going to come out much better compared to trying to be able to do something on a shoestring budget with no time and with no SME. And that's just the reality of being an instructional designer. And once again, there's no such thing as a perfect course. You can always go back and make improvements and revisions, and time again, you're going to find different types of ways to make the courses better. I promise you that that is real. No matter the circumstances or what you're doing, you can always go back and improve later on. And that, folks, is what to do when your instructional design model fails you and you have to be able to create something as quickly as possible while still doing the very best job that you possibly can. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you enjoyed a little bit more about this story. If you did, as always, please feel free to rate and subscribe to the show wherever you are listening. I am not picky as far as for giving out 5-star ratings on any and all apps and platforms. That's always fantastic. I will certainly take the positive reviews for this show. Once again, as we are approaching the holidays and I'm recording this episode literally the day before Thanksgiving, I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Spend time with your family, friends, and loved ones. Safe travels, of course. I know that there is crazy weather happening in like all of the United States at the moment. So here's hoping that everyone arrives safely and then to come on back and to think more about different types of learning nerd methods that we're going to be diving on into future episodes of this show. And last but not least, folks, I have still been working behind the scenes to make the updates to the collaborating and building relationships with subject matter experts course that used to be offered on EduFlow. I have moved all my different types of courses over into Brightspace, and that course will be launching on Friday. That is a deadline that I have set for myself, and I can't wait for this course to finally be back out there because you keep asking me, where is the course? And I keep saying I'm working on it. And I would like to finally just say, hey, here it is. And now you can go back and take the course. So if you're looking to learn more about how to build authentic relationships with subject matter experts and how to really avoid a lot of the things I actually talked about in today's episode of trying to be able to build out true relationships with SMEs, this is for you. And of course, I have to make sure to speak more around how to get around challenges and pitfalls and just talking a little bit more about what I have learned over the years when it comes to working with all kinds of subject matter experts. That will be inside of the course. So stay tuned for that announcement. It is going to be out on Black Friday. I'll make an announcement on LinkedIn and email, so be on the lookout for that. And that, my friends, is all that I have for you today. Stay nerdy out there, and I will talk to you next time.